Subjunctive. Alright, subjunctives. Kalispera, παιδιά. Welcome to my Greek diary. This is Sara. I am from Spain and I am learning Greek every week, and I am sharing with you how and what I study. So in this way, we all feel a bit more motivated, we don't feel alone in this process, and also we get a bit of a strategy and some steps to do it, you know, slowly but surely. And today we are going to do a big jump. So stay here with me because we are going to introduce the simple subjunctive and how to use it properly. So, Pame, in order to tackle this, we are going to use the verb πρέπει. Πρέπει, which is an equivalent in English of to have to as an obligation or must, and also could be used as an advice, should. So we are going to do it step by step with 10 verbs. So we are doing a challenge as well with 10 verbs, and we will definitely use phrases, examples, with combining with a bit of exercise, all right? So we can all practice while we are learning and memorize this. Let's start with πρέπει. Πρέπει, as I mentioned before, is being used for two contexts. One of them is to show like a personal obligation, something that you have to or you must to do, and also is being used when you want to give some advice or any kind of recommendation, okay? We use πρέπει. Initially, πρέπει sounds like quite and pretty easy to use because πρέπει will never change. It doesn't matter the subject, you will use πρέπει always in the third singular person. So it's not really difficult to use πρέπει, and also it's easy to remember πρέπει. However, πρέπει, when you want to combine with another verb, which is likely to happen in this way, you will need to use a connector. Okay, that connector is να. Πρέπει να. After that να, we mostly need to use subjunctive. Not always though, okay? So that's why it's a bit challenging. And here becomes a bit an issue. Subjunctive. This is something that scares a lot of people. But let me tell you something. The simple subjunctive is just another verb form. In the same way we've got present, past simple, future, and so on. This is just another form. So forget about being difficult. We are doing it strategically, step by step, all right? So keep with me to keep smashing this. So in order to tackle properly this πρέπει, okay, we are going to get a bunch of 10 verbs that we have done already in present tense. These 10 verbs that we are gonna start with as a challenge as well belong to the alpha type. In the present tense, all of them have the same ending. All of them keep the main root, and then we change the endings. If you remember, let's take γυρίζω as an example. Γυρίζω, γυρίζεις, γυρίζει. Γυρίζουμε, γυρίζετε, γυρίζουν, or γυρίζουνε. The rest of the verbs have the same endings. So far, so good. Let me tell you, for that simple subjunctive, these endings that we've used for the present will remain the same. We are going to take these endings and we are going to use them for the simple subjunctive. We've got a bit of challenge because we need to change slightly the main root. For γυρίζω, we are going to take that zeta and we are going to transform into sigma. So γυρίζω, that sounds z, γυρίζω, becomes γυρίσω, γυρίσω, γυρίσω. For you would be γυρίσεις, γυρίσει. Γυρίζουμε, γυρίσετε, γυρίσουν, or γυρίσουνε. The verb αρχίζω has exactly the same structure as the previous one. That zeta becomes sigma. we are going to have the same. Αγοράζω becomes αγοράσω with sigma. The same goes with τελειώνω. Τελειώνω has this ni. The ni becomes sigma. Τελειώσω. Then we've got πληρώνω. Πληρώνω, that ni becomes sigma. Πληρώσω. Then we've got φτάνω. Φτάνω, we need to change that ni and transform into sigma again. So becomes φτάσω. Φτάσω. So if you want to say, ooh, today I have to come back early, you would say, σήμερα πρέπει να γυρίσω νωρίς. Then let's say that you want to say, I have to arrive early. Let's say, you would say, πρέπει να φτάσω νωρίς. Like, you see how it works? Let's keep going because we've got many more verbs. Μαγειρεύω, if you remember, has exactly the same endings. However, we need to change that y into ψ. Ψ. Μαγειρέψω. Μαγειρέψω. You will see μαγειρέψω, μαγειρέψεις, μαγειρέψει. Μαγειρέψουμε, μαγειρέψετε, μαγειρέψουν. Exactly the same thing is gonna happen with the verb γυρεύω. We need to change that y into ps. So γυρέψω, γυρέψω. With the same endings and the present tense, but with that ps change. Let's say that you need to say, I have to cook right now. Τώρα πρέπει να μαγειρέψω. Okay, because it's an obligation you need to go through. Let's keep going for more verbs. Κοιτάζω. Κοιτάζω means to look. Okay, to look. So κοιτάζω becomes, we take that zeta out and we transform into x. X. Κοιτάξω. Κοιτάξω. So κοιτάξω, κοιτάξεις, κοιτάξει. Κοιτάξουμε, κοιτάξετε, κοιτάξουν or κοιτάξουνε. And then we've got the verb φτιάχνω. Here we need to take out this φτιάχνω and to transform into x. Φτιάξω, φτιάξω, φτιάξεις, φτιάξει, φτιάξουμε, φτιάξετε, φτιάξουν. Okay? You want to say, oh, I need to repair this. I have to repair this. Πρέπει να φτιάξω αυτό. Okay? Done. Okay, this has been a bit theoretical, a bit more boring, I would say, but now let's go into practice. In the next section, we are going to have 10 phrases in English, and we are going to translate them into Greek. My recommendation is, for every single phrase, stop. Try to do yourself, and then carry on watching the video and just check with me how well you did. Shall we do that way? Πάμε!
Ένα. Mario and I should start this exercise. Ο Μάριος και εγώ πρέπει να αρχίσουμε αυτή την άσκηση. 2. Today I have to arrive early to the hotel. Σήμερα πρέπει να φτάσω νωρίς στο ξενοδοχείο. 3. You have to buy a new watch because it is broken. Πρέπει να αγοράσεις ένα νέο ρολόι επειδή αυτό είναι χαλασμένο. 4. Tonight my son must come back at home at 8. Απόψε ο γιος μου πρέπει να γυρίσει στο σπίτι στις 8. 5. You must finish in an hour the exam. Πρέπει να τελειώσετε σε 1 ώρα το διαγώνισμα. 6. My parents have to pay the bill because I don't have money. Οι γονείς μου πρέπει να πληρώσουν τον λογαριασμό επειδή δεν έχω χρήματα. 7. Now I have to look at my schedule. Τώρα πρέπει να κοιτάξω το πρόγραμμά μου. 8. I don't know what it means. I have to look for it. Δεν ξέρω τι σημαίνει αυτό. Πρέπει να το γυρέψω. 9. I think you should cook for your grandmother. Νομίζω ότι πρέπει να μαγειρέψεις για την γιαγιά σου. 10. Tonight we should prepare special dinner for our grandparents. Απόψε πρέπει να φτιάξουμε ένα μοναδικό βραδινό για τους παππούδες μας.
Παιδιά, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I mentioned something like after πρέπει να, most of the times we will need to use simple subjunctive. When I say most of the times, it's because not always is the case. And that's the reason why it gets a bit confusing. When should I use simple subjunctive and when should I use just present tense? Okay, so let's clarify that now. And let's imagine the verb to work, δουλεύω. Δουλεύω is exactly the same as μαγειρεύω. Μαγειρεύω becomes, if you remember, μαγειρέψω. Μαγειρέψω. Δουλεύω becomes δουλέψω. Yes, you got it. δουλέψω. So, let's say that I need to work now. So, τώρα πρέπει να δουλέψω. Τώρα πρέπει να δουλέψω. I am saying I have to work now. It's in a specific time, in a specific context. But let's say that I want to say like always I have to work. It's something I have to do in the regular basis every day. So it's like an obligation for everyday life, all right? I wouldn't use the subjunctive in this case. I should use just the present tense. Πάντα πρέπει να δουλεύω πολύ. I always have to work a lot. Let's get another example. My mom thinks that I should work in a school. Always I should work in a school instead of working like I'm doing like private lessons. I am not very stable. And my mom says to me, Sarah, you should work in a school, okay? It's more stable. So she would say, Sarah, πρέπει να δουλεύεις σε ένα σχολείο. Σε ένα σχολείο, Sarah. She would say that using the present tense because it's something that I should be doing always, not just now. But if my mom needs help and she wants me to help and to do a specific job, she would say, Sarah, πρέπει να δουλέψεις τώρα. Παρακαλώ. Please. Okay? So she would say in that way. Okay, I put my mind like, oh, like being like that, but that's just an example. So here it's important to always remember the present tense when we are talking about generic obligations or a generic advice, something that you should be doing all the time or you must do all the time. Wow, today has been quite intense, isn't it? And we've got πρέπει, we've got 10 verbs to remember in simple subjunctive, plus also δουλεύω. So it's not 10 verbs, actually they are 11 verbs. I hope you have enjoyed this video and I also hope it hasn't been too much. I did my best, and if you think it's worth watching, please press the like button so other people can get benefit from this video and this way of explaining.